gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
I want to take you back to that breaking news now where 3 people were shot in southwest Atlanta. That's according to police. It happened on Campbellton Road. Let's check in now with Channel 2's Courtney Francisco, who joins us there live. Courtney, we know that a baby was shot and killed. What else have you learned?
So, we already know how dangerous Atlanta is. But Campbellton Road, I've told you guys before, is, I mean, it's pretty much gone. All right. It's a ish show. Okay. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be safer. We should be able to walk the streets of our great city and not have to fret about being deleted by these super gremlins on demon time. That's just not the case.
That's what we've learned, that a baby was killed in this shooting and 2 adults were hospitalized. Let me show you what's happening right now and take you closer. Police are gathering evidence. They've had this road blocked off for nearly 3 hours now. We are at an apartment complex called The Hills at Greenbrier. Police say a 27-year-old...
And I've told you guys how dangerous these apartments are in Atlanta. You can get hit with a stray bullet. You can get hit, you know, sitting in your apartment unit with another tenant who fires off. You never know.
Woman, 23-year-old man, and 6-month-old baby were in the parking lot when someone started shooting. Police say the shooter was targeting the people they shot. And also, police are searching for the shooter at this hour. They say they do have some details for us, that they left in a light-colored sedan, but wouldn't go further than that while the investigation continues. Reporting live in Southwest Atlanta, Courtney Francisco, WSB Tonight.
That is just terrible news, and I know there's more to learn there at the scene. Courtney, thank you for...
Southwest Atlanta. A 6-month-old baby killed in a triple shooting in Southwest Atlanta. Police say it happened just after 8 at the Hills at Greenbrier apartment complex on Campbellton Road. Fox 5's Eric Perry has been following this story throughout the day. He's live outside the complex with the latest. Eric.
So I told you guys, women, children, it doesn't matter. These super gremlins are on demon time. And it's just inexcusable, unacceptable that we have 6-month-old children being deleted in the city of Atlanta, all over, you know, some beef in the community. Op culture, I told you guys, is at an all-time high. The crash out culture at an all-time high. And there are blood sacrifices, quite frankly, going on in the community, specifically in the streets of Atlanta. And it's not being addressed. It's not being acknowledged. It's being swept under the rug. It's being overlooked by politicians and citizens alike. So, huge issue. I'm shadow banned. I'm demonetized. I'm censored on YouTube. They don't want the message to get out here. They don't want people to know what's going on in these streets and that these super gremlins are on demon time.
Yeah, Christine, we talk about shootings all the time. They're all heartbreaking, but we're talking about a 6-month-old baby that was killed in this incident. Now, Atlanta police is calling this a targeted incident. We've learned the name of that 6-month-old, Charles Watson Jr. Many in Southwest Atlanta are still working to wrap their heads around Wednesday night's triple shooting that left a 6-month-old dead and 2 adults injured. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office identified the baby as Charles Watson Jr.
This was a targeted incident. It appears that this is stemming from an incident that happened in May of earlier this year at the same location.
We talked with Atlanta's Deputy Chief Charles Hampton Jr. shortly after the shooting Wednesday night. He says investigators are looking for at least 2 shooters believed to be in a light-colored 4-door sedan. One woman described the terrifying moments after the shots were fired. Many are just too afraid to talk on camera. They say the victims were inside a car when it happened.
I heard a woman yelling, saying that someone shot my baby, call 911.
Wow, and that obviously was probably a horrific scene. I mean, you've got an infant bleeding out, a great bundle of joy that, you know, this woman birthed, and to be struck out like this in such a violent manner at such a young age. And this is happening every day in the black community. This is a huge issue. So ask yourself, why does YouTube want to censor me? Why do I have to be forced onto Patreon? Why do I have to be forced on other platforms to get this message out? Because obviously there's an agenda behind this continuing to happen.
Thursday, we saw many damaged vehicles being taken away. I'm told they were damaged as the suspects tried to get away.
6-month-old being killed, that's pretty tragic.
Clayton Bell has had a business nearby since 1990. He says something has to be done.
It's been pretty much, there's been violence in this apartment complex and in this area for quite some time, the last 30 years. We need more
30 years of bloodshed in the community, and people are mum's the word. You don't see any activists. You don't see BLM out here. You don't see Al Sharpton or Ben Crump out here representing these people, but they're dying. They're crying out for help. Okay? But they're not being heard.
gun control. People here need more things to do with their time, more activities for the youth.
Now, here's what I can tell you about the other victims. We've learned a 23-year-old man is in critical condition, a 27-year-old woman taken to the hospital in stable condition. Atlanta police asking for any information, not just in this shooting, but the May shooting they feel is connected. If you know anything, come forward. You can remain anonymous. In Southwest Atlanta, I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
News out of Southwest Atlanta, where police confirm a 6-month-old child is dead after a shooting at the Hills at Greenbrier Apartments on Campbellton Road.
Police say 2 adults were also shot. All this unfolding in just the last few hours. Fox 5's Rob D'Arienzo is live there for us. And Rob, what else are you finding out right now? So tragic to hear that a baby died.
Yeah, guys, absolutely gut-wrenching details emerging from the scene off of Campbellton Road here in Southwest Atlanta. As you mentioned, that 6-month-old baby is dead. There's also a 23-year-old man who is in critical condition and a 27-year-old woman who is in stable condition. I want to take a step out of the way to show you what the scene is looking like as the search is on for 2 shooters this evening. Now,
so this is almost a mass shooting. We've got the same number of people shot here that were shot in the Jacksonville shooting in the Dollar General. So you don't see any mass media outlets reporting on this. It's a local story, strictly. But we've had an innocent babe being taken out. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Police say after 8 p.m. they responded to the Hills at Greenbrier development here to a call of multiple people shot. When they got here, they found that baby and those 2 adults. They were all 3 of them transported to the hospital. Again, the 23-year-old man in critical condition, the 27-year-old woman in stable condition, and that 6-month-old child is dead. Police right now believe that this is a targeted shooting. Take a listen to the latest update we just got minutes ago.
We know that this was a targeted incident. It appears that this is stemming from an incident that happened in May of earlier this year at the same location. And right now we're looking for a light-colored 4-door sedan. We know that there were approximately at least 2 shooters.
And I spoke to people who heard the gunfire from across the street here on Campbellton Road. They described just a barrage. It sounded like they said a clip. And back out here live, you can see police investigators on scene trying to piece together, gather all the evidence they can. Again, they believe at least 2 shooters are at large tonight, and they're asking for the public's help in bringing them into custody after, again, a 6-month-old child is now dead here in Southwest Atlanta.
Well, tonight, the search for the person responsible for the shooting death of a 6-month-old baby continues.
Right now, police are trying to figure out who shot and killed the baby boy last night in Southwest Atlanta.
So who's going to speak up? Because this is the community's chance to right the wrongs and at least bring justice to this child. Y'all know who did it on Campbellton Road. Y'all know who did it. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all know who the shooters are. Y'all know who the robbers are. Y'all know who the scammers are. Give them up. You know, give a tip. Do something. Because this child cannot die in vain. And there needs to be a law named after this child. Don't forget this 6-month-old child's name, Charles Watson Jr. There needs to be a law named after this many infants have been killed in Atlanta. And there's no inaction. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It happened at an apartment complex on Campbellton Road, and that is where we find 11 Live's Bobeth Yates right now. Bobeth, how is the community there responding to what happened?
Well, Jennifer, I went walking around this complex earlier, and everyone I spoke to was emotional. Some were even crying, saying that there is no way that this baby should have been killed.
I'm very sad, very scared.
Residents from the Hills at Greenbrier Apartments off Campbellton Road opened up to 11 Alive about Wednesday night's shooting that claimed the life of a 6-month-old baby.
About a little after 8 p.m., officers responded to this location, 2909 Campbellton Road. They did in fact find 3 people shot. All 3 injured were transported to local hospitals.
According to Atlanta Police Department, a 23-year-old man is in critical condition, a 27-year-old woman is in stable condition, and her 6-month-old son, who the medical examiner has identified as Charles Watson Jr., died at the hospital. Witnesses who asked us to conceal their identity says the mom's scream replays in their head.
I hear her voice from my apartment, so I could hear her yelling and screaming like bloody murder, like someone, was killed, and he was.
Another witness told 11 Alive a light-colored car pulled up to the vehicle the victims were in and opened fire.
And that's what they're doing nowadays. It's called sliding on your ops. Guys, if you hear this vernacular in your vicinity, you need to run. Okay? You need to be out of there. If you hear somebody talking about sliding, they're not talking about no slider burgers or anything like that. They're talking about street justice. And this is something that you need to be far away from.
Driver then lost control, hitting several parked cars. And witnesses add the wait for help was just as devastating as the mom's cries.
It took about 45 minutes to an hour for the ambulance to come and take off with the victims. So it seemed like it was an eternity.
Police now say this was a targeted shooting and they need your help solving it.
Any death in our city is a tragic incident. Anything involving a child makes it difficult for the investigators solving this crime. And that's why we're hoping that anyone who knows any information will do the right thing and call us.
Now, in addition to the shooting being targeted, police tells us that this may be connected with another shooting here at the apartment complex that occurred back in May. And back to this shooting, they say they saw at least 2 people leave the scene in a light-colored sedan, and they're asking anyone with information to once again come forward. You can do that anonymously by calling Crime Stoppers. That number is 404-577-TIPS. Back to you guys.
All right, Bobeth. Thank you.
There's an urgent search for suspects after a triple shooting in Southwest Atlanta where 2 people were hurt and a 6-month-old baby killed. Liza Lucas is live at Atlanta Police Headquarters for us this morning. And Liza, you've been working to get more details on this heartbreaking story. What do you know so far?
Just an absolute tragedy from all angles this morning. Of course, the death of that baby boy adding to the urgency, as you said, as the search for suspects continue. Police tell us that they believe this to be a targeted shooting, and we are still working to learn more circumstances about what unfolded. A lot of the details are being kept close to the investigation at this time, but it's thought to be at least 2 shooters involved. Police believe the suspects are on the run in a light-colored sedan. Now, the scene now clear, so we want to walk you back to the scene from overnight. Some video that we took at the Hills at Greenbrier, the apartment complex off of Campbellton Road. Now, police were called here a little after 8 o'clock. Investigators at this point not answering whether the baby was caught in crossfire or further details about how the shooting unfolded, but they do believe this all occurred after an incident that happened back in May. Investigators now working through some surveillance video of the area. They're combing through that footage. A resident we also spoke with, who would only speak to us off camera, described the chaos and the moments before she herself called 911.
I heard a whole bunch of shots that was fired, a big loud thing. I walked down here and that's when I heard a woman yelling, saying that someone shot my baby, call 911.
Every time I hear that interview, it just hits you to your core as a parent. Now, the man, we are told, is in critical condition at the hospital. The woman, 27 years old, in stable condition. Police asking anyone with any information to call Crime Stoppers. You can report any info you have anonymously. We've got all that information for you to do so on live on our homepage on 11alive.com.
Liza, thank you. That is so sad. We are thinking for that family this morning.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe, hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pocket.
Y'all dirty with this shit.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take
What
all your
more do you want from me?
Also looking for the gunman who killed a 6-month-old baby boy and injured a man and woman.
The triple shooting happened last night at an apartment complex of southwest Atlanta's Campbellton Road. And Good Day's Mark Tigner's live in downtown Atlanta this morning with the latest on this news alert. Mark, good morning to you. And police say this was a targeted crime.
Yeah, they say this actually stems from a shooting that happened at the same apartment complex a few months ago. This is a terrible situation, one that is shaken up even seasoned.
So the fact that it was highly targeted lets us know that those super gremlins most likely were watching the individuals that they attacked, and they knew that that child was loaded up into the car, because you're going to have to load the child up in a car seat. It takes, a couple minutes to do that. They must have been watching from afar, and they saw this opportunity. And instead of waiting and doing the street code thing, no women and children, right? They keep trying to tell you there's a street code. There's no such thing as street code, okay? Because they can bend the rules whenever they want to, when it benefits themselves. And in this case, it benefited these super gremlins to slide on their perceived ops while they were, while the guy was with his family. So this just shows you how demented these individuals are and how they should be rooted out of our society.
Investigators.
just truly a tragic incident.
A 6-month-old is gunned down. The triple shooting also sent a man and woman to the hospital. Police responded to the Hills at Greenbrier apartment complex off of Southwest Atlanta's Campbellton Road just after 8 Wednesday night.
We have a 23-year-old male who currently is in critical condition, a 27-year-old female who is stable condition, and we have a 6-month-old child who succumbed to his injuries.
Investigators think this was a targeted crime stemming from a shooting at the same apartment complex back in May. They're now looking for at least 2 gunmen in a light-colored 4-door sedan.
Any death in our city is a tragic incident, but anything involving a child makes it difficult.
I heard a whole bunch of shots that was fired, a big loud bang.
Angela Olson heard the shots and came out to investigate. Finding the injured adults, the woman screaming for help.
I heard a woman yelling, saying that someone shot my baby, call 911.
Olson called 911 and tried to help any way she could. She thinks the gunman hit her car as they fled the scene.
I'm in shock. I'm kind of scared.
And you can understand why. At this point, police say they are working with the apartment complex, taking a look at surveillance video. They're also hoping that someone will come forward. They say there were a lot of people around when this happened. It's hoping that someone will give them the information that they can find the people responsible for this terrible, terrible crime. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Mark Teichner for Good Day Atlanta.
Hopefully they do find the person responsible. Mark, thank you.
A 6-month-old baby was shot and killed last night, and police are saying that was a targeted attack.
Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm is live this morning at police headquarters. Rebecca, this is horrible, and we know 2 adults were also injured in that shooting.
Yeah, Megan and Lana, the deputy chief gave an update late last night. He did not say the relationship between the injured adults and the baby who was killed in the shooting, but neighbors are telling us the adults are the baby boy's parents. Let's take you to the scene from last night. The call came in at a little after 8 o'clock. This is in Southwest Atlanta on Campbellton Road at an apartment complex called the Hills at Greenbrier, which is in an area that has seen a lot of violent crime over the years. The deputy chief said when officers arrived, they found 3 people shot, a 23-year-old man, a 27-year-old woman, and a 6-month-old baby boy. The baby did not survive. Police tell us the man was in critical condition when paramedics took him to the hospital. The woman.
So like I said, guys, you got to support the channel. I'm doing my best to bring you guys this pertinent information. I can't do it alone. At this point, the Super Gremlins are winning. They are, because they're the influence or the just the fact that this message is being stifled online, being censored so that people can't wake up and realize what's going on. I mean, this is a mass genocide in the community going down, and it's an everyday occurrence. And it is all based off of individuals' behaviors. And if we don't try and work to change the culture or whatever you want to call it, the pride in one's community, and I mean, it starts with the little things, but we're done for, man. I don't see how this in any way slows down if we don't make a change. It's only going to exponentially grow. And, you know, these people who are murdering infants are going to be able to walk the streets and harm you and your family. These Super Gremlins are on demon time.
In stable condition, neighbors, as you can imagine, are really shaken up and they're afraid. 2 of them spoke with us, but they asked us not to show their faces.
I walked out here and that's when I heard a woman yelling, saying that someone shot my baby, call 911.
Whoever did it was after the dad. They shot the daddy, and the daddy was trying to cover the baby.
And, you know, like I said, when you participate in the op culture, you are endangering your whole family. So, brothers, you know, if you want these situations not to happen, you're going to you're gonna have to stop participating in op culture. It's that simple. Now they're saying it was a retaliation shooting. Maybe Buddy was involved in something in May. I don't know. But the ultimate lesson was learned, and a child's life was taken. Maybe because of his actions, maybe not. Maybe it was a mistaken identity. But like I said, it appears to be targeted. So I think the Super Gremlins feel like they got the right guy, obviously. And I don't know what was going down. Like they keep trying to tell me in the comments, oh, you need to stop speaking on street business. I don't know what's going down, but I know it's not right either way. And I don't feel like I should be silenced because I expressed that opinion.
And the baby and the daddy got shot. The girlfriend was shot, but she didn't even know it. And when I was hugging her, blood was on my hand. And then I said, "You're shot." And that's when the paramedics took her away from me.
And police tell us they believe this was a targeted attack that may have stemmed from another incident a few months ago. They believe there were at least 2 shooters who may have gotten away in a 4-door light-colored sedan. They're reviewing security video right now, and they're asking anybody who may have seen something to come forward, or at the very least to call Crime Stoppers, where they can remain anonymous. Live in Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.